Today I want to get into Jin forced to take a bit of a break in the military, Jin getting weight in the military, getting headlines, and people bullying him for that, and then concern of if soldiers will do that too. Then we have the company talking about things they will not tolerate. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey Spilling Mug merch, and let's go. HYBE every quarter launches their legal action statement. This statement does not necessarily mean there are any legal battles involving hate that is currently happening, although they did say something was happening this time, but it's usually just a warning to the fandom and audience, as well as a notice to let the fans know that something is happening or can happen if things get really bad. The way I see it, the fans often report everything to HYBE and Big Hit, so the company wants to make sure the audience knows that things are always being looked into. This was a very smart decision for Big Hit to do, because even if a legal battle does happen, Big Hit is not allowed to publicly talk about it, because you simply can't talk about a litigation before it's over. If the case goes to trial, you don't want an audience or a group of people in court to be biased, and the way to avoid that is not give too much information, and even then some things are classified. So in order to let everyone know that BTS is still protected, every group is still protected, they launch these statements every quarter. The people they are referring to have likely received a warning, which is why the statement talked about people who have already been investigated. It's against the law to file a complaint or take legal action on someone without giving them a warning first and the ability to fix their wrong. Should the person not fix their issue, then the legal action can continue and it can then be a case. This, however, means that the haters that are continuing to attack and berate the BTS members have gotten a complaint before and are still doing it. I think this is very interesting, and there was even a theory a long time ago where stalkers or Sesson fans would constantly attack BTS members and people would wonder how they have not stopped. Many people had concluded that these stalkers were likely rich because they would get caught stalking, pay the fine, and then continue to stalk more. This is probably what happened for a while, given that these stalkers can also sell personal BTS information for a lot of money. They probably were able to make that money back, and then the fine that they would have to pay was nothing they couldn't afford. However, Korean law has changed quite a bit, and there is now a Korean stalker law. As of October of 2022, stalking in Korea had become an actual criminal act, and it's not enough to simply fine the stalker, but actually put them in jail, which would now be about 3 years of prison. The other bit of things that the Big Hit statement was likely referring to is the increase of death threats the members seem to get. So Jimin specifically gets a lot, which I would imagine definitely is something they have tried to reach out to. Death threats online are illegal and never taken lightly by police officers. They are 100% looked into, and usually they can track the IP address of some of these people and directly reach out to them. I don't think there is enough that is being done to stop online harassment, not just with BTS, but really anyone. Around this quarter, every time the label releases a statement, any channel or people that talk about BTS will receive an influx of really unwarranted hate. People who just see BTS in the title, or even someone talks about controversial issues, and BTS is a part of that sometimes because it happens, the fandom will suddenly start attacking those people. But hey, that's why I have a job, because there's people who don't read, don't comprehend, and don't make any sense. That's literally the people I talk about on this channel often. I think BTS members going to the military is actually a great thing for them, not only to feel normal, but to decompress and not really see all the messages online, because fandoms used to be very simple. It was either you love the idol, and thus you're a fan, and then there's people who hate, and then others who know of the group but are neutral, and then there's new audiences. Now there's these things where some haters want to kill you, and then some, like Sessons, who allegedly really love you but they try to stalk you or hurt you in the name of love, and then there's people who love you and would kill for you, and then there's fans who really love you but they can't have you, so they constantly bully you. And since the idols themselves will look at someone like the last one and they will try to reason it in their head, oh, that's a hater, but then it's like, but they're following everything I do. So constantly, if an artist were to read the comments or be in it, they would feel like they're gaslit. And I've read things even about myself, which I'm not big by any means, that I'm like, that's not me at all, or I didn't do that. So you almost constantly have to question who you are. You might think you know who you are, but when suddenly 50,000 people are coming towards you saying you did something you didn't, you will start to question, did I do that? And that is why everyone says, before you become an artist, know yourself well. Like to the point where if someone calls you ugly or someone calls you hot, it doesn't change how you feel about yourself. If you know you're a 5 out of 10, it doesn't matter if someone says you're an 11 or someone says you're a 2. This not only helps you become less affected by hate, but it keeps your head on the ground because, as I said, even if someone calls you really hot, you know where you stand in reality and you won't let that make you think you're better than everyone. And I think the boys are there. But when you constantly have to remind yourself where you are, it can be tough to be sane because it's easy to let people's words affect you. It's hard to not let it affect you. And celebrities become celebrities because they like applause and showing off their work. Jin going to the military was a good way to reset and feel normal and almost recenter how he might feel about himself. But of course, while it's a great thing, he still needs a break. He was recently forced to take a little break. I don't know if he wanted to take a break. I would imagine he would prefer to just keep going and then get it over with. But I think he will actually get a bit more of a break because his position actually changed and he is no longer, I believe, supposed to guard the DMZ, which is what he was believed to be doing before. Currently, he serves as an assistant drill sergeant, meaning he monitors every trainee coming in and trains them. This also means he will be training the other BTS members that come in. Jin seemed very happy when Suga posted a photo of all the members together with Jin, without Taeyang and Jimin. Jin also seemed very happy, but there was definitely a concern for Jin's health for a while there. When Jin first started, it was believed that when some of the members visited Jin, he had an issue with a lack of appetite. Jaehyuk and Jimin went to visit him and talked about how Jin wasn't eating as much and lost a bit of weight. And at the time, I was saying how it was probably just difficult for him to get acquainted and just used to a new lifestyle. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced at one point where things change very fast for you, and you could have either tried to hang on to the old stuff and cry about the changes, or you could roll with it and work hard to pivot to this new thing, especially if any of you are business owners. I think you know exactly what I'm referring to. The first step when opening a business is a big pivot, and then if it takes off, it's another pivot, and traveling and things like that are all big stressors. They might be exciting, but you will lose weight because you forget to eat or you're moving more than you're eating. Of course, Jin in the military is something very different for him. You burn a lot of calories in the military, and a lot of people in the military eat way more than the average person does. And this is beyond the traditional like 2,000 calories or whatever. So often when soldiers leave the military and still eat the way they did in the military, they start gaining weight fast. So I didn't think it was a concern. And then recently, Jimin went on Suchita, this is Suga's talk show, and Jimin talked about a lot of stuff. And one of those things was Jin. Jimin actually talked about how Jin gained a bit of weight and now is the heaviest that he has ever been. Trigger warning, I am going to be talking about weight here a bit more in depth. I believe he is currently 66 kg, which is about 145 pounds. Jin is 5'10", so that is still on the lighter side, and then there were talks of him being a lot healthier now. Gaining weight is not a bad thing, by the way. I know a lot of people want to stay skinny and are scared to gain weight. Typically, when you're in a relationship or at a new job or doing a new thing in your life and you're happy, you will see that person put on some fluff. That means they're happy, and at the end of the day, if they're healthy too, that's all that matters. The silly stuff of a person's appearance and if they appear sexy is so subjective and so not important after a certain age. Once you're married or settled down, looks don't matter, and so it always irks me when I see people, especially teenagers, shame women for being bigger or older, and it's like, in the grand scheme of things, you think that matters? How they look? It's so unimportant. I would rather be ugly and happy than hot and sad. And to hear Jin has settled in and is comfortable and putting on weight is so nice. Being as skinny as K-pop idols are is not healthy all the time, especially as you get older. When Jimin said this, it actually made several headlines and TV news was talking about Jin gaining weight. That's so funny to me. But people were wondering if K-pop fans or other people were going to mock Jin now for gaining weight or being bigger. And there was concern of bullying. Well, I can say there's probably a lot of bigger people in the military, maybe not necessarily bigger in terms of body fat, but in terms of muscle. And there's a big likelihood that the extra weight Jin has gained is muscle and not body fat. I don't think people in the military sit around enough to even gain body fat. They're literally working out 9 hours a day. Like, imagine if it's your job to be fit, you'll be fit. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.